も大好きです。
バナナタルトも好きであろう。それと牛乳は嫌いで。
なぜそれを？
これからは好きなだけ食わせてやる。ではまた。
All right, my friends. All right, so when long, luscious, black-haired dude was like, Denka, I got an idea. And he's like, what's the idea? And he's like, don't worry about it. I was like, oh shit, here we go. But then the episode ended. I was like, no. Like, I wasn't, this was like, you know how sometimes like you'll pause the episode or something because like, you know, you look away for 2 seconds, or maybe you like, you look down on your phone for 2 seconds. So you put pause and you see like the, you know, the episode, not counter, but like the episode length, like, you know, you see where you're at. I didn't do that at all this episode. I was just like completely absorbed in, and like I was smiling like a big dummy at the end. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then the episode ended. I was so effing mad. I was like, no, I just want more Doctor Elise. Oh man. Episode 5, absolutely incredible, right? Like, not only did the prince kind of get consumed by his thoughts of Elise, and I think that was like really, really great to see, but he finally kind of caved into like, okay, maybe I do go get treated, and maybe if it's, you know, maybe if it's her, like I'm okay with kind of putting myself out there. So he does. He goes after, you know, his, I think, assistant or whatever, you know, after they go, he goes and he gets treated. And they're like, oh, go to the Imperial Cross. He's like, yeah. So he ends up going to Elise, and he gets all touched up. You know, I mean, she touches his neck. You know, she touches a little bit everywhere. And my boy's over there like, yo, does she do this with every patient? The short answer is she's a doctor. So yes, she does. But he's over there getting all hot and bothered and stuff. So amazingly, like, that's an awesome scene in itself. Is his little like jealousy of like thinking of like, who else should she be touching like this? Like, yo, old people, ladies, kids, like, you know, she's gotta like, you know, touch and take your temperature, feel your pulse, feel like she's a doctor, bro. So I like how, like, even though he's very intelligent, it's like at the same time, like, he gets it, but he doesn't want to get it. You know what I mean? So that is a whole ball game. So then she goes and she diagnoses him, you know, pretty easily, right? She's like, oh, you know, you just have like an active thyroid thing. You know, it's like the way the juices work, and it's just not giving you enough protein. It's not giving you enough energy. So that's why you're tired and stuff. So she prescribes the medicine, and she's like, just come see me for like the next 2 months, and, you know, we'll do like little check-ins. So it has the little scenes of the 2 months passing, and he goes there over and over. She checks, and eventually, you know, he has to check out. And I was like, oh man, what are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now, Ron? You know, and he goes and he continues to come back, and he tries to placate her with, you know, a gift, because her brother was like, oh, well, you know, she likes strawberry cake and pudding and, you know, all these snacks, right? Which I think is pretty accurate for who she is right now. Like, she does love strawberry cake and pudding and snacks and all these things that her family won't let her eat because it's bad for you. And he's like, oh, but, you know, she used to, you know, she likes shiny stuff. She likes jewels. And he's like, And, you know, I love how the prince is like, the girl in rags that I see all the time. I just can't see her like getting excited about a diamond, which she doesn't. She's like, no, bro, I'm not accepting gifts for my services, like, you weirdo. And he's like, I love his response too. Is like, I knew this was going to happen. And I don't know. There's just some kind of like level of, how do you say it? There's some sort of level of happiness that this show brings me. And this season, my friend, has been really interesting because, like, for every Doctor Elise, for every villainous 99, there's a bunch of stinkers this anime season too. Like, there's a couple of different anime this season that we're watching here on the channel that have just been big fat disappointments this season. But, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel is for every one of those stinkers, we have a show like Doctor Elise. You know, we have a show like Villainous 99. You know, there's these shows out there that are like tremendously good, and this is one of those ones. Like, this I think for me, Doctor Elise and A Sign of Affection this season are like these two shows that, like, personally, I don't see shit. I don't see nobody talking about them. But if you're here with me and you're watching, like, we're eating good. Like, this show is good. Like, this show is good. Not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, this is specific to a certain palette. Like, if you generally like shonen anime action, if you generally like thriller, maybe, like, this genre is kind of very specific to, a lot of viewers. Now, again, it doesn't mean that because you're not into shoujo or, you're not into romance, you can't be into this. Because I think as long as everyone's open-minded and gives something a chance, I think some things can be for everybody. But I do think that this is for a specific audience because it is isekai kind of at its core, but really it's like the isekai takes like a back seat to the core story, and the core story is really like her becoming a doctor and utilizing the skills of a past life. And the thing so unique about this story is she was this girl, became another girl, and then came back to this girl. So it's like it's a different type of isekai. And I think that if you have really enjoyed shows like Parallel World Pharmacy, which is, I love that show, Pharma, so good. If you like shows, maybe if you like romance, like Raeliana, like I think Raeliana's Duke's Mansion was a really good one. Or last season, I think more on the comedy side of it, but Tear Moon Empire, if you like something like that, I think that this show is like right there up our alley with those kinds of shows that have been coming out the past couple of seasons that are like these rare gems. Like Raeliana is awesome, Tear Moon was awesome, Parallel World Pharmacy is awesome. So I think we're eating good there. But man, I can't wait to see what happens next. I love that they're making the test harder. I like how the king as well as his confidant, are both like, she needs to be our queen. Like, she's like the level of intelligence and foresight that she's showing. Like, she fits the bill of the queen. They're like, she needs to be our queen. But it's this harsh dance of she needs to be our queen, but if she has this medical intelligence, this medical prodigious gift that she's been bestowed with, at least from their point of view, it's like, how do you take that away from the country as well? It's like, if she has this gift that is like a 1%, a rarity of like a once in a lifetime type prodigious gift to better the medical community, it's like, isn't that a bigger, how do you say it? Like, isn't that a bigger boon or a bigger gift or a bigger impact to the country? Like, for someone of her intelligence and foresight and basically taking, the reality is taking everything that she learned in her past life back to this life, it's like she can like explode the medical community. And basically, a kingdom is made up of its people. And if you can, get the longevity of your people better, if you can produce medicines, if you can produce treatments that never have existed before, like, that is a bigger impact than simply running the country. So I'm interested to see what happens, because I don't think the king, his confidant, and now the prince are going to easily let go of Elise. So then it's like, well, where does that put her? Can she open up a hospital at the not the kingdom, but at the king's castle or whatever? Like, what's the compromise? Is there one? Is she just like, I won't be queen? Like, so much juicy stuff, and then obviously the prince is falling in love, so that's a whole nother ball game. It's like, if she continues to work at the hospital and the prince won't let go, and like, she falls in love, what ends up happening there? Like, the prince, she has to be queen, so it's like, well, so it just, yeah. All right, I'm done talking, my friends. Just, I love this show. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week for episode 6. Peace.